Hi, this is Mr. Lejeune, West Baton Rouge Parish School Board Office, and one of the administrators responsible for Virtual Academy for Spring 2021. So excited to have everyone here for orientation as we go into what would be a great year. So some of the folks at the central office, they will be helping you with Spring 2021 Virtual Academy of myself, Mr. Lejeune, Warren Lejeune, on the elementary end, Cindy Russo, food service, Miss Mary Cowdy, and Head Start, Crystal Leon, secondary supervisor for middle school and high school, Miss Julie Mayu, and special ed supervisor, Miss Callie Kershaw, and for our technology needs and your technology needs and support, Dr. Tammy Seneca. And also our goal as we go into the spring semester, we can honestly say that we made it through the first semester. There were some hiccups, some bumps, but we met those challenges as we closed out the fall semester on a good note. So this orientation will be some reminders for those virtual parents and students from the fall semester. And for our new students, we would like to introduce you to the Virtual Academy and what you should expect and what we will expect of you for this spring. There have been some changes as we grow in this virtual environment. There's things that we have learned which have required us to make some changes as some of the things that we did in the fall that we'll be doing differently in the spring. So just want to remind those that are with us for the second semester, and for those, give you some information if it's your first time in the Virtual Academy. So some of the information and regulations. So as you made the commitment to remain in virtual school, or you made the commitment to go to the Virtual Academy for this spring semester, it will be from January the 5th to May 21st. And we, because of the number of students who have returned back for face-to-face, it makes it that much more trickier. So they won't be any going back and forth, so they won't be those opportunities like we're in the fall. This will be a commitment for the entire semester here in the spring semester with the Virtual Academy. And just like I said, a couple of reasons why changes would be impossible of the configuration of our schools and the rosters of those students going face to face, still meeting the guidelines of the CDC in this COVID pandemic environment. So it makes it difficult to change, so there won't be any changes. And as new students come in and some have went back, there will be some transportation logistical problems, but I think we have most of those out the way. So bus transportation should go smooth for those who have went back to face as we get ready for this environment, which also puts another strain on the bus system. So that's why those who have committed to virtual will be virtual from January 5th to May the 21st. So the structure of it, your child is still a part of the West Baton Rouge Parish School System. So wherever they attend school, they will still be with their school. In the Virtual Academy, they may have teachers from another school that may be giving the instruction, presenting them, the material, but they still will be with their assigned school. So each day will be like a regular school day, except that it's at home. So there'll still be those expectations, just like when it was face-to-face. There will be some Virtual Academy expectations also, just like for all the students who are face-to-face. So instruction would take place during the regular school hours. So we can say that as being from 8 to 3. There will be nothing required as far as meeting in classes outside of that window. There may be homework assignments and other assignments and activities that may be assigned that can be done and may need to be done after that time. But as far as the live sessions and direct virtual contact with teachers. It would all be during the regular school hours. So a student week would consist of live sessions through Google Meets or Zoom. There will be some individual group sessions, and that may vary depending on grade level and teachers. And for the workday, students will have specific assignments and assigned work that they must complete with the teacher. And one of the things that we learned from the fall semester, which was a good thing, and that was the teachers having a an online office hours whereby students and parents, if they have questions or they need support, where they make themselves available for those individual questions that may not be able to be asked during class and so forth. So every teacher that is teaching virtual has those teacher office hours, so that period during the week where they can have a time for parents and students to communicate and interact with them virtually when needed. So with attendance, just like with face-to-face, attendance is required. And this was a problem for a small percentage of our students, whereby attendance or lack of attendance was a problem, but it is required. And if there are too many days missed, just like if it was face-to-face, it would also mean failure of their class, especially at the middle and high school level. So students must log in every day at the specific times that they have class, be it live sessions or they have group work that needs to be done. The expectation is that they would be there on time. And being on time is critical, just like it is for students that are face-to-face, that have to be there by the start of the day. So failure to meet these requirements can result in some truancy proceedings where this information is forwarded to the district attorney, and then they take it from there with students and parents who are not attending the class. But just like in the face-to-face setting, on-campus setting, if there's a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment, simply bring an excuse back from there. If there's a funeral that a family attends, just bring back an excuse to the school, and just make sure when you know that you're going to be out for whatever that reason be, that you be in contact with the school with their virtual teacher to let them know that, and make sure that you have the documentation and forward the documentation to the schools. And with that, there will be probation because, like I said, a very small percentage of our students did find it hard to log in. They did find it difficult to complete work. And because of that, their grades suffered. So for those students who ended the fall semester on the bad note as far as logging in and completing work, they will be on probation for the first few weeks of this spring semester, with the expectation that they will log in on time, that they will complete work and not get into the habit of not doing so and earn failing grades. So with that, if that continues to happen in these first few weeks for these students, there is no improvement with attendance, with logging in and completing work, a formal conference will be held to discuss returning face-to-face, because what we want is our students to be successful in virtually. So if this is not possible in logging in and completing work, then the best thing would be for that child to be back on their school's campus. And as we talk about the things that can be an issue with being successful, part of that is technical. So on the home end, do all the things that are required to make sure that there is an internet connection to be on class on time. But we understand that we have Chromebooks and electronic devices don't always work as they should, and sometimes issues come up. So there is tech support for those that have been in the virtual school. They're familiar with it. If not, everyone has a device in West Baton Rouge Parish. And with that, if there are ever any issues with the device that you've been assigned to that has been given to you, there are two ways to contact to get help, to get support for those devices and when you have issues with those devices. The first one is a number, and for that assigned number for the West Baton Rouge Parish Help Desk, on each day there's a certain time frame that you can call when you have problems and you need support. And outside of those times for each one of those given days of the work week, they are not available only at that time. So the second option, which is also probably one of the better options of the two, is there's an email address, which is where you can send issues about help at any time when the help comes up and email that to the help desk for assistance. So either way, phone number or email address, those are when you are having technical issues and have technical support. This is when you can contact and get that help from Dr. Seneca in our technical department, our tech staff, with any issues that you have. So requirements for the spring of 2021. So let's make this clear as we begin this semester and being virtual. Being a virtual student does not exclude students from state testing. So 3rd and 11th graders will have and will take their required state LEAP 2025 test. And these tests must be taken in person on class for those specific tests, for those specific days, and those specific times. So the schools will make arrangements to have a place for virtual students to come in to be administered their tests that are part of the promotion process for each grade. So 3rd through 8th grade testing will be April 26th through May the 26th, and high school testing will take place April 15th through May the 21st for LEAP 2025. And our 8th grade and high school students will be taking state-mandated ACT tests, and these tests are slated for March, and the schools will give the information when students, the date and time that students are to come for this testing. So with all this being said, parents, you are the key. And you play an important role in your child's success with learning virtually. So what we're asking is that all of our parents, that you support your child, your children in this new experience if they're new to this and this is their first semester. And for those that were in the last semester, we ask that you continue. We're doing a great job of assisting your child with that learning environment and being successful with virtual education. So work with them and make sure that they log in for class. And I know our experience with the middle school and high school students, a lot of parents put that in the hands and their responsibility in the hands of their child. But asking as a parent that you make those checks and be inquisitive about finding out if they're logging in, if they're attending and remaining on class for all of their classes so that they can be successful and it doesn't catch up with them at the end. So hold them accountable for being on time and completing their work. So when you go off for work and return home, have those conversations to make sure that they have done the work that is required of them. And for all of our parents, for every grade, there are some things that your child may be using, instructional platform that they're using through the internet. For an example, Zern with math in the elementary schools, and they've been primarily used in the middle schools and high schools, and all of our kids using Google Classroom and on-course classroom. Make yourself familiar with these platforms that your child is using in instruction with their teachers. And make sure that communication is a two-way communication, and make sure that you're speaking with the teachers when needed and administrators when needed, when possible. And always start with the teacher. So if ever there is an issue that may be outside of a technical issue, before calling the central office, myself, Ms. Mayu or Ms. Uso, or who you may call, start with the teacher, and then from there move up to one of the administrators, then to the central office. Because if you start at the central office, you have to go back and filter right back down to the teacher to find out how to help. So the best place to start would be with your child's teacher. So, and in that, one of the big things that parents can do is create a good learning space for your children who are virtual to make sure that they are successful. So some general protocols for students and parents in a virtual classroom, as I mentioned, be on time for each class day and remain in class for the entire class period. So just like if you're in high school, middle school, if you went to the restroom, the expectation is that you'll return in a timely fashion and not miss out on important instruction. There will be those days where there won't be live sessions, but there will be assigned work and assigned group work that may be required and need to be uploaded. Please do so. And one of the things that we learned from the fall semester is to make sure that everyone is dressed appropriately, not only the student, but the members of the household who are in the home while the child is in a virtual classroom. So we're asking everyone because the camera is on and we want no one to be on America's Funniest Videos with any incidents of the camera catching things that they should not catch on camera. So be fully prepared for class by making sure you have a charged up Chromebook and you have all the materials, the books, textbooks that have been asked of and required by the teacher before class begins. To have it all right there and not be a distraction to the teacher in the classroom looking for the materials that are needed for that classroom. Always give your best effort and make sure that you know the grades, assignments will be graded, so make sure that they are turned in a timely fashion. And we will ask that students have the camera on their device and not like so many in the real world that when it's time for Zoom, it's just a name up there with a blank square, but make sure that they are there and the teacher has an eye on each child, each student in the classroom, in the virtual classroom. And just like if it was in class, if you have to go to the restroom, there's an emergency, a quick raise of the hand in one of the platforms from Zoom to Google Meet, a private chat sent to where not the whole class sees, but just the teacher to let the teacher know that there's a request that has been made. And make sure you're in a good distraction-free learning area. And not only for your child, but for every other child in the classroom and for the teacher. So make sure that the music, especially inappropriate music, is not a distraction, as we spoke on the dress of the student and of the family members in the household, or anything else that could be a distraction, not only to your child, but every other child and the teacher in the classroom. Let's make those areas a good distraction-free learning area for all. And some daily protocols for students and expectations for virtual classroom participation. Just have the computer, the Chromebook on the flat surface with the camera on. As I said, Zoom and Google Meet, they have ways of where you can raise your hands virtually to get the teacher's attention instead of yelling out and respond to teacher and classmate questions using the designated method action required by the classroom teacher. And remember always to submit work as directed by the teacher. And there are various ways that teachers may ask for certain assignments to be uploaded for grading. So be familiar with those. And as we speak on virtual learning, grading takes place just like it takes place in a regular classroom. They will be based on students' work completed and their participation in daily work. And as it is set up in West Baton Rouge Parish Handbook, as far as final grades being determined, all out there to let each student know how final grades come about. So especially for those who are not as successful in the fall semester, there are definitely some things where those students definitely need to step up to put themselves in a position for a passing grade that would have them pass each course for promotion. And the same for our high schools, to remember that their state testing accounts for 20% of their letter grade for those classes. So state testing is real important, and that's why it's so important that learning takes place in the instruction, that they get the instruction as it prepares them for their state tests, the ECT, and word keys, because it will be a reflection of their performance on the test. It would be a reflection of what they did in the virtual classroom. And then, of course, during the course of this semester, there will be some regular classroom testing that would take place, and that would take place through Google Meet and Zoom, where each student is in their square on the screen, where the teacher can monitor their progress doing tests and quizzes. And we mentioned so many times already, but just to bring it to a forefront, and that is that communication is key. And there are a variety of ways of communicating with the teachers, administrators, with the school, and with the central office. And for the school, a lot relies on on-course system, where messages can be sent teacher to parent, parent to teacher. And as parents, you'll be able to see the progress of your child as far as grades and attendance and so forth. Then there's also the West Baton Rouge Blackboard Connect, and this is where you receive phone calls, texts, and emails. And it could come from the central office or from the school, with those communications with things that are important that you need to know at that time. So that is another avenue. And of course, there's email. And then, of course, there's the West Baton Rouge Parish School District's web page. And then there's the Virtual Academy web page also. And there's a link here, and you have that shared as an email that's sent out, where you can check it regularly for updates and for information. And the parents, it would be important, as your child is in virtual, that you would also make it a habit of checking your email once or twice a day, maybe in the morning, the afternoon, the night, for anything that would be coming from the school district, the school, or your child's teacher, as far as things that they need to know or things that need to be done by your child or by you. So make sure that communication is a big part of being successful with virtual learning. And then there are other websites and features for information. So for those who are already in virtual should be familiar with the OnCourse. And for those, this is your first semester. The spring is your first semester. If you go to the West Baton Rouge Parish School District's website, you'll see a tab that says parent, student, and on there, if you click it, you have some choices, and one of the choices for that is OnCourse Connect, and students can go to get to the information from their classes and teachers. And parents, you also have a username and password, and if you don't, your school, the central office can share that with you, that you would be able to log in and find out information and the progress of your students in each one of their classes with each one of their teachers. And with that, I think we are all ready to go. Like I said, there were some hiccups, some bumps along the road, and most of those have been smoothed out. So we ended the fall semester on a great note, and looking forward to everyone coming back from a blessed Christmas and Happy New Year as we get ready to start this new semester, this spring semester, and have time fly by. And we're still in COVID, and vaccine has come out and so forth. So we hope as we go through this spring semester and go through this 2021 school year, that our new normal will be coming, will be here sooner than we hope, and we get back to this thing that's close to normal as possible, and not have so many restrictions and so forth. So remember, we in this for the long haul as we go through this semester. So everyone that's in virtual will be in virtual. Those windows of opportunity to go back face to face will not be available like they were in the fall semester. And parents are really just counting on you to stay on top of your children and what they're doing in their virtual classroom, especially those parents who are going to work. And for those parents who are leaving their children with grandparents, other family members and friends, to make sure that they a little tech savvy, give them the basic technical knowledge that they need to really assist your child or children while they're at work, and they have left them in the hands of someone else to help them with the instruction. And like I said, if there's ever a problem, just go up the chain communication ladder from teacher to administrator to school level, be it a counselor if it's a counselor need, all the way to the central office to make sure that your child is successful. So we pray and hope that everyone has a good and prosperous new year. And we look forward to seeing and working with everyone in the virtual academy this semester. So let's go and have a great time learning and doing our best in the classroom, be it face to face or virtual. So have a great semester. Thanks a lot. And if there's ever any questions, feel free to contact the appropriate individual for the concern or need of support that you have. Thank you.